The illusion of insight. Mistaking the feeling of knowing for the act of understanding. By Afflatus. Like many, I spent years seduced by consumption. My niche was devouring non-fiction, inhaling ideas as if sheer volume could refashion my life. Every day, all day, I was plugged into audiobooks and podcasts, smiling quietly at tight prose and clever propositions. I felt informed without being transformed. Insight is not knowledge. Knowledge is not understanding. I built this digital palace of wall-to-wall books, a monument to my search for betterment, yet nothing sank in. As soon as one finished, the next began. There was no archive, no integration, no pause to metabolize anything I took in. The illusion of depth became painfully shallow in its recall. Ideas and beautifully formed sentences gave me a momentary lift, but they weren't altering my thinking or my life. The louder my self-effacing monologue became, the more I tried to drown it out, searching for that one line that might remake me, pull me from depression, and restore some sense of direction. One afternoon, while scanning for the next book, I realized I couldn't summon a single idea from the one I had just finished. Not the title, not the author, nothing. My mind felt blank, overfed and undernourished. It was a small moment, but it revealed a larger problem. I had become both agitated and apathetic, a strange mix of indignation and inertia. I was circling endless whys without a single how. In time, the walls of academic insight gave way and buried me. I had spent so long isolating myself from the world I was ghosting through that I had lost all sense of belonging. My breakdown shattered every sense of self. No one was coming to put me back together. I was jobless, disoriented, and face to face with the unsettling truth of what I had spent my life striving for, and why it had left me so mute and misunderstood. The midlife collapse revealed what I had been blindly searching for. Autism, a revelation that rewrote my history. I had accumulated knowledge in total ignorance of myself. I had built a long, respectable creative career without ever reading my own brief. How does one grieve the self they never knew? It wasn't regret for the things I had done, but for what had gone unseen. The misinterpreted reactions, the misplaced shame, the years spent punishing myself for shortfalls that were never character flaws. I often think about how I could ever have recognized myself without first losing the identity I had constructed. Only in the collapse could I see that I wasn't the things I had done, but the processes beneath them. I was the neurology, not the neurotic. As I reached for a footing, I began to write. It was the only way to convert static into structure. Each sentence became a small act of self-recognition. I was trying to understand myself from the ground up. Those early months after the breakdown were defined by fog. I couldn't think with any clarity, so I wrote to defend what little coherence I had left. Writing became a way to make sense of making sense, a loose taxonomy of understanding built from fragments I could hold still long enough to examine. I see now that I had to slow down, to create for myself, to let ideas settle rather than skim the surface, to notice what stayed. I still grieve the younger me who was energized by possibility, who moved through the world without yet knowing why. My outer world has grown smaller, safety where there was once novelty and danger, but the interior one is widening. With the ego maimed by depression's mauling, the way forward reveals itself only in cautious steps, each one the beginning of a path whose direction is still uncertain. You have been listening to Afflatus.